Which of the following statements best expresses the main idea of the passage? When looking for a main idea, it's important to ask yourself, does every sentence in this paragraph either lead up to, mention, or expound upon this idea in some way? Other helpful questions are, what would this paragraph look like if this was the main idea? And what would the paragraph look like without this idea? Let's take a look at our choices for some examples. A. Self-defense skills are needed for flight attendants to take care of calmer passengers. We can see this choice simply isn't true. The text tells us that flight attendants are taught a set of de-escalation techniques to handle difficult passengers, not calmer passengers as our choice suggests. We can mark this off. B. More than 3,600 incidents involving knives have occurred so far this year, so de-escalation techniques are being tested. While the text does tell us that more than 100 incidents were reported to the Federal Aviation Administration in the last week, for a total of more than 3,600 so far this year, it never says that these are specifically knife-related, simply that the number of unruly and violent passengers is spiking. Again, based on this technicality, we can mark this choice off. C. Passengers often get anxious, upset, and frustrated due to not being let through with an oversized suitcase or being asked to stow a tray table. We see this concept reflected in the third paragraph, which tells us that flight attendants are taught a set of de-escalation techniques to handle difficult passengers, the ones who won't stow a tray table or who insist an oversized suitcase fit in the bin last time. Towards the end of the paragraph, we see that people are anxious and they're upset and they're frustrated. However, because this is only mentioned in the last paragraph and nowhere else in the passage, and because this choice makes no mention of the self-defense mechanisms the flight attendants are being trained in, it's likely not our main idea. We'll keep an eye on it as we head to choice D. D. Returning to air travel this year, the number of unruly and violent passengers is spiking, requiring flight attendants to learn self-defense skills as well as de-escalation techniques. Already, we can see that choice C fits squarely into choice D, as choice D mentions the unruly passengers we saw in choice C. Furthermore, choice D touches a key point that choice C ignored, flight attendants learning self-defense skills, which we see mentioned in every paragraph of our passage. Based on this, we can go ahead and mark choice D as our final answer.